everybody, Allie Bloyd here, and today I'm going to be talking about a very special strategy that many different types of businesses or businesses in different industries can use effectively to build an email and text list, to get scheduled calls or appointments, and to close more sales. So this is an evergreen video training opt-in. This is something that really has a lot in common with a webinar campaign, but the difference is this is not a live webinar. This is not promoted as an evergreen webinar necessarily. This is a video training that someone would be opting in to get access to. The structure of the funnel plays a large role in the way this campaign works and why it works so effectively. And we'll go through all of those details as well as examples of what this strategy looks like and more details on who can best utilize this strategy in their own business to get more leads, close more sales, and ultimately grow their business. Let's dive in. So as I mentioned, this is an on-demand video opt-in strategy, and ultimately this is an example of a gated content offer. So this is a video training lead magnet funnel, and it's designed to get someone to opt in for this free video training with name, email, and phone number, and then push them towards the next step. But most importantly, really push them towards actually watching this video. So who is this best suited for? Well, this strategy is ideal for businesses who have an educational aspect to their business and want a high volume of leads, which we'll talk about the appointment setter as we go through this, but also want to get scheduled calls and appointments from prospects who already have a certain level of knowledge about what it is they do or what you can potentially help them with. So in theory, this works best for those who are selling high ticket items. So that would be $2,000 or above. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be high ticket. It really works best for anyone who would have that educational component as a necessary piece to better close their sales. So obviously, the higher ticket that product or service is that you're selling, the more ROI that you can make from this strategy. However, I have seen this work for lower ticket products and services as well. You may just need to structure things a tad bit differently and potentially push them directly to the sale as opposed to getting them on a sales call or appointment. So why does this strategy work? Well, this is very focused on text message follow-up. There are emails in these follow-up campaigns, but really it's more there just to make sure that they're getting these communications. If for some reason their text messages are not receiving text or something happens on the text side that would prevent them from actually getting those SMS follow-up messages. So this is going to prime leads to be ready for the next step after they consume the content, making them move easier towards that close and making them more qualified by the time they actually get on that sales call or that appointment. Everyone wants more qualified leads to speak to, and so having a prospect that's already gone through this video training is really the way that you are going to increase their level of knowledge, not only on the problems that they're facing, but also the solutions that you can potentially provide them with. This is also going to set you apart from the competition because education-based marketing is never going to be done by all businesses. Ultimately, it probably should be, but if you are utilizing education-based marketing in your strategy, you automatically will be setting yourself apart and providing more value to the leads that you're going to generate through this campaign. This is also really great for businesses who have a longer buying cycle potentially. So again, this typically is going to be more higher ticket items, but it also could be things that you're selling that maybe aren't so high ticket, but they have a significant impact on the person's life. So one thing that comes to mind would be something like life insurance. So life insurance is not necessarily a big payment up front. It is a lower ticket yet almost lifetime recurring payment. However, it does have a significant impact on the life of the person who would be signing up for this. And it also has a lot of impacts in terms of, what potentially could happen in their life. So it makes it a big decision, and maybe a decision that they really want to be fully educated on before taking that next step. So this could be a great strategy for a life insurance company potentially to utilize. Even though it's not a super high ticket sale, you are still going to be having that one-on-one communication through a phone consult or a video consult or an in-person appointment. But you also do want the prospect to really understand why they need this, what the different options are, and how this is going to help them prepare themselves and their family for the future should tragedy strike. And you're really able to communicate that much better in a longer form video, as opposed to trying to get someone to read long form ad copy only, or maybe read a long form sales page. So there will always be people who will read longer form pieces of content, but for the most part, people don't read, and they don't read very thoroughly. They're going to skip over a lot of really important points if all you're doing is providing them with text copy in terms of the educational side. Video is very easy for people to consume, especially on their phone, which they have with them all the time virtually, or on their computer if they choose as well. Because this is focused on that text message follow-up, you're going to do a couple of things. As soon as they opt in for this video, they're going to start receiving text from you, the very first being that video that you promised them. So this will prime them to expect to get future communications from you, open that direct line of communication, and also really ensures that you have got good contact information for these people so that you can reach them by phone or text message in the future through a non-automated strategy or follow-up. So they're really a lot more responsive leads we have found throughout this strategy. So the pages that you would need to implement this into your own business. The first one would be your opt-in page, or it could also be replaced by a Facebook lead form. So even if you use the Facebook lead form through that lead generation ad objective, you are still going to want to have an opt-in page. And that's because Facebook lead forms are only available through one ad objective on Facebook and Instagram. If you implement this strategy, you really should be utilizing this video training opt-in in a lot of different ways, such as sending it to your existing email list. So you may ask, why would I send it to my email list? I already have their contact information. Well, you might have their email, but do you have their phone number? This is a really great way to get phone number opt-ins from your existing list. And again, this is a great way to educate the audience on things they really need to know in relation to your products or services. So someone who's already on your list, but they have not purchased yet, this could be a great way to really get them over the line and get them to reach out or get them to convert. So we want to have that opt-in page where we're saying, okay, hey, do you want this free video training? Give us your contact information and we'll send it to you. The second page is called the primer page. So this page is very simple in its design, and I will walk you through examples of all of these different pages as we go through this, but this is going to be a very short video. Usually it averages about 2 minutes, and it's really priming them for the video that they opted in for. So this page is really going to be able to show us who has actually gone through and watched that main video. If they never make it to this page, then we definitely know they haven't watched the main event video, as you will hear it referred to. And so we're able to tailor the follow-up based on what they're actually doing once they opt in, which is another core differentiating factor of this strategy. The next page will be your main event video page where we're presenting that main content. It will have a button on it that will allow them to proceed to the next page, which is the schedule page, or it could potentially be a purchase page if you do not take scheduled calls. However, this is best used for those who are taking scheduled calls, virtual consults, or in-person appointments. So that is also going to have a short, around 2-minute video on it. And we'll go through what these different videos really should consist of. But you've got these 2 really short and sweet videos. And then you've got your main event video, which is that video training that they are opting in for. After the schedule page, you are then going to have potentially a thank you page or an application page directly after. And then you would have a thank you page after that application if you chose to wait and present that after the application is filled as opposed to after they schedule. So again, I will show you an example of this funnel, one that I utilize in my own business, and you'll be able to see exactly what I mean by that. And we'll also cover the frameworks for each of those 3 videos. So I've already mentioned the videos needed. We've got the primer video, the main event video, and the schedule video. So now let's take a look at the pages themselves. This is my opt-in page. So we're saying this is a free exclusive training. You want to have a really strong, catchy headline or title for this training. It's not necessarily something you have to utilize a lot inside of your main event video, but we really want people to be curious about what they're going to find through this training. We're going to give them an overview of what they'll discover. We want to add some sort of social proof or credibility aspect to the page, and then really just a sense of urgency to get them to opt in. When they click on reserve my place, we're going to get their name, their email, and their cell phone number. So I indicate on the form that for training sent instantly through text. So we're letting them know we're asking for your phone number because we're going to send you this video training through text message. You don't necessarily have to have that, but I do feel like it puts people at ease a little bit as to why you were asking for their cell phone number. And if they know that you're actually going to be delivering this video content through text, it makes a lot more sense to them. This is another reason why a video training gated content offer can be better than a PDF, because it's much more logical to send a video through text than it would be to send a PDF through text, knowing that most people have no idea how to save a PDF onto their phone through that text message. So very simple page for the opt-in, and you'll see that really consistently through this funnel. These pages are not long, they're not overly designed, they're not chock full of copy. They're designed to do exactly what they're intended to do, and so we don't need a ton of elements on each individual page. Now we are at the primer page with that video and a button and a logo. Very simple. So this video is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Can be longer than that if you want it to be. I wouldn't necessarily say that you should go much longer than that, but it can be as short as about 2 minutes. It really depends on how far you want to go into your origin story. So we will talk more about that when we get to the video frameworks that you can utilize to create these videos, but there is no set amount of time. You just want to keep it short and sweet, but still convey the information that I'll outline in that primer video framework. Then we have a button to click here to watch the free video training. This is the main event video page. Again, you can see it's also very short and sweet. We've got our logo. We've got step 1, watch this important training right now. We have our main event video. And then step 2 is schedule a call to learn how I can help. We've got a short paragraph, and then we have a button for them to book their call. So ultimately, this is the video that I want them to watch. This video can be a variety of styles of video, but it is really great to utilize the format that I'll lay out in that framework, regardless of the style of video you use. So this could be a video sales letter. That's a very popular style to use for this type of strategy. It could also be a case study. A case study is really covering the results that your clients or buyers have been able to achieve really through storytelling, but not your story, someone else's story, and showing the transformation that your product or service has been able to help them with. This video in my case is actually a recording of a live presentation that I delivered at Social Media Marketing World. This presentation already followed the majority of the steps of the framework, but I did add several minutes at the end to really cover the rest of the framework and make sure that I had all of those elements necessary. So this was a great one for me because it was a professionally produced video. I did have slides that went with it. I also covered a lot of information that I really wanted my prospects to know. So this was a good fit for me. You likely don't have a recording of a live stage presentation, and that's okay. Does not need to be something like that, and it does not need to be highly produced, despite the fact that this is a more produced video that I just happened to have and wanted to utilize. So the video sales letter, I would say, is the easiest style to utilize. I do have video slide templates for this that can be used to really make sure that you are covering all of the aspects that that video sales letter would need to include. But for the most part, it's just going to be text on the slides and then your face talking through those slides in a little box on the left-hand or right-hand side, as you can see exactly in this video that you're watching now. That is really the format that you would do for a video sales letter main event video. It's also a really great first type of video for a lot of business owners because you don't have to memorize all of the content. You don't have to remember the specific steps in order of what you want to cover. The slides are going to have all of that for you, and they will prompt you to be able to say what you wanted to say in relation to that slide. You can also have notes below it outside of the video recording frame so that you don't feel the pressure to have everything perfectly memorized. Those slides are really going to be a great guide for you. So that is something that I would recommend. In terms of the time frames, this video of mine is 42 minutes. I do plan on doing a brand new main event video training soon. And for that video, I'll likely keep it around 20 minutes. So it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. There is no right or wrong answer, but I do believe that under 30 minutes is ideal at this point. However, I have a ton of people that watch this video in its entirety. You're just going to risk losing more people the longer the video is. So unless it is very direct and content focused and giving them value every step of the way in a way that would keep them engaged and watching till the end, I would recommend keeping it around that 15 to 20 minute mark just to be safe. So once they click through that button, they're going to see another simple page: logo, book your free strategy session. It's going to have a calendar on the left-hand side, and we'll have our schedule video on the right-hand side. That schedule video is also going to be 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll cover that framework as well. But really what it's doing is just reiterating how they got to this step, really confirming what it was they were struggling with or that they wanted to learn. You know, they've gone through this video training. Now they are obviously on this page because they see the need to get additional help or support for whatever it is they are looking to accomplish or solve that problem. And then you want to explain to them how they're going to be scheduling and what they are scheduling for. So talking about, okay, there's going to be a calendar on this page. If it's not there yet, give it a second to load. You want to make sure that you pick a day and time that you are available to show up to this call or this appointment. We are absolutely going to be there, and we want to make sure you can be there as well. Tell them where the call or appointment's going to take place, how long it's going to be, any other steps they need to know. You really just want to kind of walk them through the basics of doing this. People really need step-by-step instructions a lot of the time, and so don't think it's overly simplified. Really tell them exactly what they would need to schedule and what is going to take place afterwards. So when someone schedules this call, they're then going to the second step, which is the application page. So this is, again, a simple page. It's going to have my logo. Step 2 of 2, please complete this quick survey to reserve your free strategy session. And then it's going to have a form with the questions that I want them to fill out. So we want to collect this information, not just to see who's truly interested in showing up to this call, because the people who do fill this out have a much higher likelihood of actually showing up to their appointment. But it's also going to give you or your salespeople the information that you need to investigate their business or their situation beforehand, to understand where they are in terms of, their process or level of understanding before you actually speak to them, and potentially identify any disqualifying questions that would prevent you from wanting to have that appointment because maybe they're not ready or they're not in a place where this would make sense for them. Then finally, I've just got a thank you page. So my thank you page after they submit this is going to thank them, reconfirm that they need to check their calendar and make sure that this has been saved. It's also going to give them opportunities to dive deeper into more of my content if they want to check it out, really trying to build that relationship with them as much as possible before they ever speak to someone on our team. Content is an amazing way to do that, and free content is way better. So that is the overview of the funnel itself, but that is not the entire strategy. So the funnel pages are one side of it, but the second part of it is going to be those campaigns and the automations that take place depending on what they're doing. So before we really dive into that side of it, a couple of things that you would need to do if you want to utilize this strategy. You want to decide on the title and topic of your training, as well as the format that you're going to do for that training. You want to determine what the best next step is for someone. Is it an in-person appointment? Is it a call? Is it a virtual call? And then you want to record those 3 videos based on the frameworks that I'll present to you. So in terms of time frames, this strategy can be implemented very quickly if you get those videos done quickly. So these videos are really the most labor-intensive part of this entire strategy, because as you can see, the funnels themselves are not super complex in their design. It's really about the content going on those pages. The campaigns and the automations are something that I actually provide in my snapshot packages. So you don't have to do a tremendous amount in terms of setting up those campaigns or those automations outside of editing them to fit the verbiage, to fit the focus of your business, and just personalizing the messages a little bit more. So the ads for this strategy is something that we will cover after the fact. But what I want to do now is walk you through the different video frameworks, and then we'll also talk more about those campaigns. Now we are going to take a look at those video frameworks, and we are going to start with that primer video. So there are 4 steps in this framework. Again, a framework, not a script, because everything you say is going to be based on you, your business, your training, and who your audience is. So step 1 is to reinforce prior positive action. What that means is you want to make sure you remind them how they ended up on this page. So for example, hey, Allie Bloyd here, and if you are here, that means that you requested my free video training on local marketing strategies using Facebook and Instagram ads to explode your return on investment. If that's something you were interested in, it seems like you were having a hard time either effectively marketing on Facebook and Instagram or really seeing the return on investment that you're looking for. So when I did that, I'm really telling them, okay, you're here because you had a problem. You already requested this video, and that's why you're here right now. And that means that you likely are struggling with this. So step 2 is going to be who you are. If that's something that you're interested in learning more about, then you have come to the right place. I'm Allie Bloyd. I'm the founder of Allie Bloyd Media, and I've had the privilege of working with local businesses and marketers who serve local businesses for almost a decade now in a variety of ways. I have been able to win a ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club award for generating over $1 million in revenue through a single sales funnel. I've been able to speak on some of the industry's biggest stages, such as Social Media Marketing World, Traffic and Conversion Summit, and more. I have been able to be featured in publications like Forbes and really serve hundreds and hundreds of businesses and help them grow and increase their revenue, which I would love to be able to show you through this video training. So that was my step 2 and kind of my step 3. I could dive deeper into my origin story if I wanted to. I could tell them how I got started in this business and tell them some of the challenges that I dealt with early on, how I created the systems that they are going to be learning in this video training. But that's really up to you, how deep you want to dive. What you want to do is make sure they know who you are, what your business is, and give them credibility, because people can say whatever they want these days. You want to make sure that they understand that what they're going to be learning is not something that you just came up with, that you're really qualified to show them what you're going to show them. And then step 4 is the solution. We want to pre-frame what they're going to see in the main event video. So that could go something like this. What I'm going to show you in this video training on the next page is really going to change the way that you market your business, not only on Facebook and Instagram, but on any social media platform. I'm going to walk you through my proprietary AB3 ad strategy and all of the core elements that you need to develop and implement an effective social marketing system so that you never again have to worry about leads coming in every month, or if you're going to close enough to be profitable, you'll never have to stress about your sales team not having anything to do, no leads to follow up with, and you will finally be able to grow your business predictably. So click the button below, watch that main video training, and you want to give them the title of that. And I can't wait to see what you learn and how it changes your business. Enjoy. So again, that's an off the cuff example of what I did in that video, but that's really all it needs to be. And that is going to be customized to you and your business, but it is going to still follow these same 4 steps. So let's take a look at our main event video framework next. So this is that primary video that they are opting in for. And it may look like a lot of steps, but again, you can do all of these in as little as 15 minutes. Steps 1 through 6 can really be covered in just a matter of a few minutes. Again, you really get to decide how much time that takes. Step 5 and step 6, those could be elaborated on a bit more. But step 7 is really the core of what you were showing someone or teaching someone in this video. So keep in mind, this is not a video pitching your business or selling. You really want to educate, you want to explain, you want people to understand the problems and the solutions so that when you introduce your specific solution, they already know why that matters and what makes what you are offering different. So step 8 through step 12 could also be completed in just a matter of minutes. So step 1 is going to be the attention grabbing title. You really just want to reiterate what that title is and tell them that we're going to go ahead and get started. What you'll discover, obviously, is a summary of what you're going to cover inside that training, but don't focus on the tactics. Focus really on what it means to the person watching. What are they going to be able to do or achieve or avoid through that content? So it's very similar to, features versus benefits. No one cares about the features. They only care about the benefits. That's really what we want to do in step 2 is make sure they understand what they're going to walk away with if they watch this and try and hook them to stay to the end. So step 3 is who this is for. If you're advertising, obviously you're going to be setting your audiences and your demographics, but that doesn't mean that every person who opts in is actually the right fit for what it is you're offering. So you want to make that really clear up front. You don't want anyone to waste their time if this is not something that they could actually use. And so just make that clear who this is for. Step 4 is imagine if. And what we want to do is paint a picture of what life would be like if they didn't have this problem or if they achieved that goal or transformation that they're looking for. So every single business offers a transformation. It's either closer to pleasure or away from pain. You really want to understand what the transformation is that you provide, but you also want to understand what it means to someone on a daily basis. How will it impact their life? So you want to paint a picture of, imagine if you never had to worry about your sales pipeline being full, your sales team having leads and schedule appointments that were excited to speak with them and ready to move forward. Imagine if you could actually predict the revenue of your business each month simply based on your ad spend. When you want to increase your revenue, all you have to do is increase your ad spend and make sure that your metrics remain pretty consistent, but it really can be that easy. How would that impact your life? Would you have more mental space to grow your business in other ways? Would you be able to spend more time outside of your business doing things you enjoy? Would you be able to have less stress, allowing you to sleep better at night and be more present with your family to create those moments that really matter? So step 5 is going to be why listen to me / my story. So again, credibility is really important, which is the why listen to me portion. You want them to know you have actual experience helping people with these things. And your story really should frame why you want to help them in the first place and establish that personal connection with them. Step 6 is why am I teaching this? So again, You are teaching whatever you're teaching because you want to help the people that you're serving better understand X, Y, and Z. Maybe you've seen a lot of people fail with it in the past. Maybe you yourself had failed with this thing in the past. Or maybe it was something that, a loved one struggled with and you really dedicated yourself to solving this problem. I don't know what it is. That's really up to you, but you want to show them why this matters to you, why you are passionate about what it is you're teaching them. Then again, step 7, this is really the core of what they're going to learn. That is so dependent on what you do and what you're selling, but can be 1 through 4. You could do a little bit more steps if you needed to, but I would try and make sure that you're not filling this with fluff. It should be things that are actually relevant and valuable to the audience. Once you've gone through that core of the content, you're going to give them a summary. Okay, so here's what we've learned. Boom, 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 boom. Here's why this matters. Now, step 9, you've got 2 choices. You've learned exactly how you can create a social marketing system that will generate those leads, appointments, and sales on autopilot. And you've got a decision to make. You can either continue doing exactly what you've been doing with the same results you've been getting, which obviously aren't what you want, or you would not have requested this video training, or you can choose to do something different. You can choose to step outside of your comfort zone and really figure out how to implement this type of system inside of your own business. So that's what step 9 could look like. You want to give them those 2 choices, do nothing or do something and make a change. Step 10, who this is not for. So very similar to step number 3, who this is for, so that we don't waste their time in the video. Step 10 is who this offer is not for. We're really talking about the offer now. So step 9 is introducing your offer, and that's what you want them to take action on. Who this is not for. So an example for me could be, so before we really go much further, I want to make sure you know that this is not for everyone. This 12-month mentorship is a program designed for small business owners, local business owners, and marketers or agencies who are serving local businesses. If you are an e-commerce Shopify store, this is not for you. I can definitely send you a referral, but this is not what I focus on helping with. This is also not for people who are not coachable or do not want to try new things. I'm going to be introducing a lot of new strategies, tools, and techniques in this mentorship. And if you are very rigid and unwilling to try something different, this is not going to be a good fit for you. This is also not for people who have no interest in spending money on paid advertising and want to do everything organically, spending their own time to generate those leads. We will focus on organic strategies, but the core of this is designed to be used with paid advertising. So again, I'm not saying, hey, if you don't have any money, just kick rocks. We don't want you. It's nothing like that. You really want to make sure that you are letting them know who you can help and who you cannot help. And that could be, the type of person or industry they're in. So for me, I'm telling them if they're an e-commerce only business, this is not for you. And that's the truth. Even if they were to schedule a call, we would tell them that on the call. So we don't want to waste their time or ours. I also don't want to work in a mentorship with someone who's not coachable or willing to try new things, because that's the entire point of it, to learn and to implement new things that will work for you. So step 11 is what you're getting. This is really where you're going through your value stack and the details of your offer. So what is it that they're actually getting? What's the perceived or actual value of that? What is the benefit of that? Again, not just features and benefits. And then step 12, we want to tell them how they can take advantage of this. So we can let them know, hey, there's going to be a button on your screen. You can click that button to schedule a call, or you can text the word success to XYZ Twilio phone number to go ahead and move forward in the application process. So I would not say that texting the keyword is something that if you choose not to have it, it's going to tank your campaign, but it is a good thing to have. Because this is already a text message focused campaign, they're already going to have a direct line of communication with you through their text thread. So it'll be very easy for them to text that keyword. This is also a call to action that you can use in other places outside of this video, where you can put it on an organic Facebook post and start building a phone numbers list that you can continue to market to and that you can also use to create lookalike audiences that are a lot more targeted and effective. So that is the framework of the main event video. Again, step 7, this is really going to be dictated by what type of video you choose to do. A video sales letter is already structured very much in the same way, but you still have got to come up with that step 7 content no matter what type of video you're doing. If you're doing a case study, you could go through different phases of that case study in step 7, or maybe you do a couple of different case studies in step 7. So that is a decision that only you can make. So now we'll talk about the schedule page framework. And this is another simple 4-step framework similar to that primer video. Step 1, again, reinforce prior positive action. So, hey, I'm so glad to see you here. If you're on this page, that means that you opted in for my free video training on effective social marketing strategies for local business owners. You checked out that video training and you felt like that information was exactly what you needed and that what we provide is something that could really help you achieve your goals. So step 2 is the NLP confirmation. So really at this step, we want to tell them, look, if you're here, you know that this is something that you need. Otherwise, you could have stopped watching. You did not have to click. You made the decision that you want to do something new and you think that I can help you with that. I want you to know that you are absolutely right. So we're basically just reminding them again of the things that they've done and telling them about what that means about themselves, that they have already decided that this is something that could help them and we don't want them to lose that momentum. Step 3 is before you schedule, I want to make sure that the calendar's on your page, that you have checked your calendar to make sure that day and time is available so that you do not have to reschedule or even worse, not show up to the appointment that you were about to schedule. I want to make sure that, anyone else who needs to be on this call or at this appointment is available at that time too. So I kind of gave you a rundown on the schedule page already, but that's really what you're telling them. And then step 4, what to do next. So go ahead, click on that day and time, fill out the questions, confirm that appointment, and after that, I'm going to have a quick application for you to fill out so that we are really able to hit the ground running on that free strategy session. I also want you to check your calendar to make sure that that calendar invite did get sent and that you have that blocked out. If not, I also want to make sure you know this is a Zoom call, so if you do not have Zoom, go ahead and download it before the call or just make sure that you know where that Zoom link is in your calendar invite so that you're able to log on at that scheduled time. Really look forward to speaking with you then. We'll send you some free resources before the call to help you prepare, et cetera, et cetera. So that is really the framework of that schedule video, nothing complicated. The schedule and the primer do not need slideshows. You just talk to the camera. Maybe make a little bullet list of just kind of the things that you want to mention within those 4 steps on the primer or the schedule video. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody knows what it's supposed to say but you. So as long as you cover those 4 different sections, you'll be good to go. You can also record those sections individually and put them together if it makes you feel more confident. So start recording the first step of the framework and then stop. And then when you're ready and you know what you're going to say for step 2, hit play again and go ahead and record that. So that's an easy way to do it. Or if you feel confident in just doing it after you've prepared the whole thing, you can do that as well. So that is the video portion of the phone funnel framework. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what those campaigns and automations actually look like to make this strategy effective. These campaigns are really the back-end follow-up for this on-demand video training opt-in strategy. So the first campaign that is designed to go with this strategy is called the primer campaign. So we've got the primer video. This is the primer campaign. So this is the very first campaign that someone is sent after they opt in. And this is going to mainly focus on people who have opted in through a Facebook lead form, potentially. They opt in through the funnel. They are automatically clicking on that submit button, which is a trigger link but also it's going to just simply redirect them to the second step of the funnel, which is the primer page. So we're going to know that they have hit that primer page. If someone never hits the primer page, which is again mainly only going to happen if you are using a Facebook lead form, which can be really effective in this strategy, and we'll talk more about that later. And that's to direct them to go to the primer page. So if they go to that primer page, they will never get this campaign. So we are going to send this to them a minute after they opt in. If they hit the primer page, they are automatically removed from this campaign because we know that they've gone to it. That button on the primer page, and let's take another look at that right here. This button is a trigger link. And a trigger link is going to let us know when someone has clicked this link and allow us to trigger an action if they have. So when they click that trigger link that takes them to the main event video page, we're going to know that they've hit that main event video page and they will be removed from the push to the primer campaign, and they are going to be added to the main event video campaign. So this is sent an hour after they click the primer link. So this campaign is directing them to watch that training in full if they haven't already. Just because somebody clicks on that page does not mean they've watched the whole video or any of the video. It could just be sitting on their desktop and they're waiting for a time that they can actually listen to it. So we are directing them back to that main event video. The primer campaign before this one would be directing them to that primer video. We really want them to go through these videos because the video content is really what's doing that pre-framing and that selling for you in a lot of ways. So this is not a strategy where we get their contact info and all we're doing is pushing our products and services. We're actually directing them back to those pages of the funnel. If they click on the trigger link on the main event video page and go to that schedule page, they're going to be removed from the main video campaign. So in that video, I mentioned that they are going to get the opportunity to text that keyword. So we are also going to be sending them a prompt to go back to that main event video and watch to the end so that they can text that keyword. If they do text that keyword, then you are going to have them added to the keyword campaign, which will really just say, hey, I'm so excited you watched the video training and you're interested in scheduling a call with us. Go ahead and click this link to schedule, or you could do an automated call scheduling, or you could have someone on your team, following up with that. We just send them the booking link. And if they do not schedule, they get reminders for that. If they do schedule, they're going to be going into an appointment reminders campaign. But the needs to schedule campaign, that is sent after they text that keyword. So we're sending that immediately. And then the SMS nurture is going to be sent to anyone who does not go through that process and watch the main event video and schedule that call. So those are the core campaigns related to the phone funnel framework. So someone opts in, they're added to the primer video page. So here are some examples of those campaigns. So we're pushing them to the primer. Hey, did you get the video I sent you? Just wanted to double check. We're sending them back. We're sending them a screenshot in the email. So the email's almost a carbon copy of the text message. We just add some additional info in there. And then again, we are checking back to see if they've watched it, sending it to them again. And then we send them one final reminder on that. So push back to main event video campaign. So we are sending them directly back to that main event video. We are reminding them to watch to the end so they can text that keyword. And we're talking a lot more about scheduling that call based on the information that's in that video. We're also sending emails as well as those texts, but the texts are the primary focus of this campaign. Then For people who watch the video, we're saying, hey, notice you watched the video. Did you catch the message at the end? Sending them back to that main event video so that they will watch the message at the end if they have not already. We're also reminding them to text that keyword by really that curiosity of making sure they watch to the end of that video. Then we're going to have our needs to schedule campaign. Those people who click through to the schedule page but do not schedule will be getting this needs to schedule campaign. We're going to have that scheduling link in there as well to send them back there. We're going to have those reminders also in email as well. The needs to show up campaign, this is your appointment reminders campaign. So we also like to really customize this to ask them some questions, like just to start that conversation through text so it doesn't feel completely automated. But we also want to have those call reminder emails or appointment reminder emails leading up to that appointment to encourage them to show up. You also would probably want to link that application page or that questionnaire, if you have it, after they book in this campaign. And you could just say, hey, if you've already done so, don't need to worry about it. But if you haven't done this yet, we will need that before the call. And then we've got our nurture campaign. So we're really just kind of checking in with them, seeing if they're still interested, letting them know that we've got some slots, that have opened up on the calendar, asking if they want to grab one. And those are for people who are really, we call them stale leads. So they haven't gone through and really watched that main video yet, and they haven't scheduled a call. And those are the people that are going to get that SMS nurture campaign, but we also have some emails in there as well. And then we really send them into a content-focused nurture campaign. So this is not something that everyone has to do, but it is really valuable. Not everyone is at the right place in their life or their business to take advantage of whatever it is you offer. And if you assume that if someone doesn't immediately schedule that they're not a good lead, you'll be wrong. I have seen so many leads come through this exact type of campaign that they don't convert right away. Some do, but some do not. And they need to be nurtured. You need to remain top of mind. You need to build on what you've already established, which is that education-based marketing approach and being of value and helping them navigate through this process, and continue to send them content to stay top of mind, and also have that call to action in all of your emails and or texts to let them take the next step when they're ready. I promise it will be worth it. We also have a no-show nurture campaign, and that's for anyone who was unable to make their scheduled call or appointment. Some people choose to not let someone who no-shows schedule another call. I really think that that's up to you. Sometimes it is a good idea to do so. However, things do happen unexpectedly, and so you can take that on a case-by-case basis. So the automations that are related to this campaign, I really talked you through them, and it's based on how far they go in that funnel and what they're doing when they're inside of that funnel, which buttons they're clicking on. So it's simply adding people to campaigns and removing them from campaigns based on those trigger links being clicked, or based on them texting the keyword or scheduling that call. You also want to make sure that your Facebook lead form is going to send them directly into the push to primer campaign, add them to your pipeline, all of that good stuff. Now that we have talked about this strategy as a whole, the pages required for this strategy, the videos required for this strategy, the campaigns and the automations, let's talk a little bit about the ads. So this ad is an example of something that I have run and probably currently running for this exact same strategy. What I want you to keep in mind that this ad is not designed to sell your products and services. It's designed to sell the click, to sell the next step, which is getting them to opt in for this video training. So your call to action needs to be focused on getting them to sign up and watch this free video training. The information in your ad copy should be focused on what the video training will help them do, not why you need to get them to buy your products and services. So as you can see, this is a Facebook lead form objective. As I've mentioned, the Facebook lead generation objective with a lead form is a great option for this strategy for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is because this is a very seamless, frictionless experience for the person who is on those platforms to opt in. They don't have to leave the platform to do it. The second is that it's going to autofill their contact information. And while the email addresses can often be wrong on those lead forms, which is why a lot of people struggle with them, because they're only asking for their email and they are only doing follow-up through email, but the phone numbers are almost always right. And that's because people use their cell phone number as a security mechanism to get back into their account. And those were also added a long time after Facebook started. So if you signed up for Facebook 10 years ago and you used one email address, like many of us have, you probably don't use that email address any longer. But phone numbers also don't change nearly as often as email addresses. So it is a reliable piece of information. What you can do when you're running these ads is you could select mobile only placements in your ads. If you do that, you know for a fact that they're on their phone when they're seeing that ad, meaning that when they opt in, they're immediately going to get that text message and likely go ahead and look at it because of the fact that they are already on their phone and they're obviously not that busy because they're scrolling on social media. So that is a great reason to always test the lead form first before your landing page. You may find that you never need to run ads to the landing page. The landing page can be something that you link to in your emails, that you put on business cards or flyers or other websites, or link from your existing website to that landing page as a free opt-in opportunity. So there's still a lot of reasons why you would need that landing page, even if you do not run ads directly to it with the conversions objective. So again, with your ads, you want to make sure that the copy is focused on what the video can help them do, what it's going to share with them, not selling your products and services. The call to action is to opt in to get instant access for this free video training, not to schedule a call, not to buy your products and services. And you want to make sure that it's clear that this is an opt-in for a video training. So as you can see in my headline, the headline is not "Get this video training," although it could be. It's "The Life of a Local Business Owner," and my newsfeed link description is "Get the free video to turn it around." That makes a lot more sense when you read the ad copy, but you can be more direct in your headline and say free video, Kitchen and Bath University, or anything that you are providing to them inside of that video training. And I always use sign up as my button. On the lead form side, we want to do a couple of things to really make this more effective. So the first one would be to just make sure you reiterate at the top of your form, get instant access to this free video training. You do not need to have a whole paragraph about your business and what you help them with. They've already been sold on the idea of getting this video training if they've clicked, so you just want them to move forward and actually submit this form. So I have used a much more instructional approach to my lead form copy in the last year or so, and it's worked really well. So we just have in the description, click next to continue. We're not giving them a lot of copy in the beginning because we want them to see the questions right away and just start filling that out. So I do add a custom question because I like people to be intentional about opting in for this. And if you don't have a custom question and you use the more volume lead form option, then people could accidentally submit this with 2 clicks. So I like to make it a little bit more difficult, but still really easy. So I typically use the higher intent option because that will give them a review screen. It's just 1 extra click they have to make. And then I also add that custom question. I like to do it as just a multiple choice button. You could do it as them having to fill something out. It really depends on what you need. But I like to make sure it's actually a question that will help me or my team follow up with them more effectively. So my question is, are you a marketer or a local business owner? Because even though we serve both groups of people, they are going to have different goals and objectives and challenges depending on which group they fall into. So then the second screen is just going to be first name, last name, email, phone, which again, most of this is going to be pre-filled, but we say complete your details below to receive instant access to the exclusive free training. Then we've got our privacy policy or review screen, and then the final step. So there are two different ways that you can do your final submission step on your lead form for the Phone Funnel Framework or this free video training opt-in. And my text says, you're almost there at the headline. I want to make sure they know there's still another step they need to take. So it says exclusive access to the free training is on its way to you now, so check your phone and email to watch it. If you know you need help with local marketing and sales, skip the training and book a call below to fast track your success. The button below says click here to schedule your call. So that is one option, and it's something that I've been using that's been working really well. Just telling them, go ahead and schedule the call. We'll tell you all of this on the video training or on the call instead of watching the video training. We know that they're going to immediately get an email and a text to get access to that training. So that is one option. The other option is to link that button to your primer page. Tell them to go ahead and start watching that now. So you can do it both ways. I'd encourage you to test it out. I have seen an increase in scheduled calls from the campaign by linking directly to the schedule your call button at the end. But I also was getting a great amount of scheduled calls using that primer page as my button as well. But this is how I'm currently doing it. And you can choose to do that either way that you want and see what works best for you. So that is an overview of the type of ads you would want to use, the way you need to frame them, and also the type of lead form that you want to use. So obviously this is a lead generation objective. If you were running to your landing page, you are going to use the conversions objective, and I would use the conversion event of just the opt-in, not the schedule. Even though it is designed to get the scheduled call, you want to get as many opt-ins as possible because the campaign will really do the rest. It will send them through those different videos. It will remind them about the videos. So we just want to get the opt-in. Whatever that second page is in your funnel, that's the page where you would want to have your conversion event placed that you're going to be optimizing for. Or obviously, if you're using the Facebook Conversions API, whatever that event is set to when somebody fills out that opt-in form, that will be the event that you optimize for in that conversions campaign. So hopefully this has been really helpful and you now understand exactly what this strategy is, how you can utilize it inside of your own business, the nuances and the frameworks and the formats and the different things to consider so that you can decide if this is the right strategy for you and start implementing it today.